Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Snakes on the Plains. My name is Mackenzie and today we're going to be going over quarantine and why it is so important. So, quarantine is when you get a new animal from maybe someone that you haven't bought before or someone that you even have bought before but you're still not completely 100% sure that the animal that you're getting is healthy or doesn't have mites, or if you just got an animal from some Joe Schmo on the street. You need to quarantine almost every time. I would say 90% of the time. Quarantine. That's putting an animal in a different room away from your other snakes or other reptiles even, and letting it sit there for 90 to 60 days.
Whenever I get a new snake, before I bring it too far into my house, what I like to do is just quickly use a paper towel like this that has a little bit of olive oil on it and just run the snake through it 3 times. And if there's any mites or anything like that, they will show up on the paper towel. They'll actually come off due to the oil and stick to this paper towel here. As you can see, the paper towel was clean after I did this to the clown, and you can definitely tell the difference between little black specks and mites because they look like a bug and not just like a crumbly bit of dirt. Now some people might tell you that this is a no-no and that it takes off and ruins the snake's own natural oils, but the snake will make new oils, and I find that this is an effective way to see if it has a minor mite problem before bringing it all the way into my house.
Now let's say that I've bought from somebody multiple times and I'm confident that the snake I'm getting from them is pretty healthy, but I still want to be 100% sure, so what I do is I quarantine for 60 days. Otherwise, if I'm just getting an animal from a reptile show, from a pet shop, or just from some guy locally, like this guy was, or this snake I'm about to show you is, I would quarantine for 90 days. Because you want to be 100% sure, and during those 90 days you can be 100% sure that your snake doesn't have any sort of illness or parasites. You constantly watch your snake in every aspect. You look out for mites, you look out for any sort of like soaking behaviors, you look out for ticks, you make sure that there's no visible bubbles or mucus dripping from the mouth. Basically, you just want to make sure that this snake is healthy. That even includes sometimes checking urates and fecal matter just to make sure there's no parasites there either, which you can get a smear done if you're really worried about it. But if you are in the first place, I wouldn't buy that animal because you really shouldn't be buying an animal that is infected with parasites or is sick unless you know how to take care of that and you're confident in that. I cannot stress that enough. It gets really hard and really stressful really quickly if you get an animal that is sick, because reptiles are different than mammals when it comes to healing and when it comes to parasites. So I'm not going to go into that right now. I just want you guys to know that, and I don't want you to get over your head in something that you might think is a really good deal because someone's cutting you a deal since the animal's sick. It might end up costing you more, and especially the time that you're going to have to put into that animal is going to be insane. But anyways, back to quarantine. Basically, the bottom line is keep this new snake or reptile or whatever it is in a separate room from the other ones. Let's say that this snake ends up having respiratory infection and I put it in with the other ones in the other room. Boom, all of them have a respiratory infection. Maybe not all of them, but a fair amount of them would. It is a pretty infectious disease. And mites, oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about getting mites. So make sure that you're doing your research. Make sure that you take a look over the snake, and make sure before buying that you check out the people's page, their reviews, and you can even go to a page on Facebook that, at least in 2017, it still exists. It's called FBI Reptiles. If you type that in, you'll be able to see it. I don't know the exact page. Let me find my phone and find out. It's called Feedback and Inquiries for Reptiles. So FBI Feedback and Inquiries for Reptiles. If you go to that and then go to the search bar, type in the person that you are buying from, you can find reviews there, and those are really helpful, and it's even more helpful if you decide to leave a review after you've bought from them. So let's talk about the first couple steps of quarantine. So first off, if you have any other animals in the room, like if I had any in this rack right here, then you would have to start the quarantine over for these animals when you get a new animal and you put it in that room, because you don't know, again, if this one's sick, it could get these guys sick. So that's the technical way of doing it. And basically for this guy, he's not going to go in the rack because this is a hatchling rack, so he won't fit. He is going to go in this 40 quart that is a little large, and he is an adult, so I'm not too worried about it. I do like these because they are really, really tall, and so is the lid. The lid is actually raised a little bit, and so that allows the snake to be able to lift up its head when it's like swallowing its food, which helps them eat a little better. But it's not too bad. If you guys were curious what this is, it's the Hefty High Rise 40 gallon. It has locks on it. Always make sure that your tub has locks on it, and or tank as well, and screen lid. And so I'm just going to start getting this ready. If you guys are curious how I'm doing this, you can check out our how to set up a tub for ball pythons, the complete walkthrough. A couple things I am going to stress though: make sure that you have some belly heat going for them, and then also that you have a probe on, boom, just like that, on the heat pad. This is non-stick duct tape if you guys are wondering what I'm using, and I find that it works the best. As you can see, there's a lot of material on here, and it's really a pain to get off, and these don't stick the best anyways, so non-stick duct tape really helps with that. So please make sure that you use a probe, because that is going to feed into a thermostat, and the thermostat will keep your snake from getting burnt and fried, crispy fried. Yep, seen way too many of those posts recently, and it's so sad. So please don't be that person that doesn't know that. I didn't know that when I first was starting, so I always like to stress it just because I think it's important. Also, I don't have any spacers right now to go on the corners. However, that's okay. Instead, what I use is just like a piece of cardboard just to raise this off the ground when I flip it over a little bit, because you don't want this to be sitting on the carpet. You can cause some pretty bad carpet burns and possibly even a fire if something were to short out. Alright, so with that done, just gonna flip this over, and if this tub looks a little dirty to you guys, it's simply because before this I was really smart, sarcasm there, and I decided that I needed to put in the bedding before I put the heat pad on. So I had to remove the bedding, so there's a little bit of like aspen dust in here. So it's all totally clean. It just might look a little wonky to y'all. So I'm gonna just move this over here for the sake of not being so distracting during the video, and get this aspen bedding back in here. Awesome. Looks great. And again, you don't need a ton, just enough to make like an inch to a half inch of barrier off of the plastic. And this is just to soak up any water, any poop, anything like that that might accidentally, or I guess not accidentally with poop, but might occur in the cage, so the snake isn't like sitting in it. A lot of times what you'll see is your snake move the bedding around the hot spot here and just sit directly on the hot spot, and that you don't need to worry about that. That's just what they want, and that's what they can do then. Now this guy's a smaller guy, so I am just going to put in a smaller hide for him. If I watch him these next few days and if I feel like he doesn't really like this hide, then I'll get him a larger one. But for now, that's what I'll do. And like I said, this tub is about 8 quarts bigger than what I normally use. So I'm just going to put a little bit of clutter in there just to make him feel a little bit more safe. And because I don't know his personality, I just want to start with the hide, and then we'll move away from the hide as time goes. And if he stops eating without a hide, or stops eating without clutter, or a combination of the two, or does great without clutter and hide is what I mean, then that will affect my decision on if I keep or remove it. Now that I have that water bowl in there, we are ready to add the snake. Here he is. This is our new clown male that we just picked up. So he needs a name. If you guys can think of a name for him or anything, please make sure to leave a comment below. See if we can get him from being shy. There we go. Awesome. really great looking guy. Super excited to see where this project leads in the future. Awesome. So, get this back in focus and let's get him in his new home. So a lot of times I just kind of like to lead them into their hide, because sometimes adults and juveniles have never seen a hide before. Some people just don't like them, and that's fine. I mean, whatever works for you works for you. So this guy seems a little bit accustomed to it, just checking it out, and this is nice. He's moving nice and slow. He's not super stressed, and he's not flying in there, so that's great. I'm gonna set him down slowly, and there he goes. And so today is the 1st of December, and in 90 days or 3 months I will be taking him out of here and putting him in a rack, and that's going to be a really, really good feeling. Very excited to see that happen, and very excited to see what his future holds for us here at Snakes on the Plains. So thank you guys so much for watching. Looks like that hide is perfect for him, and if you have any questions or if you want to see something in a video, please let me know and comment below. Our link to our website is in the description, and there's plenty of information there on our Google Docs and snake information docs. There's also our availability if you all are curious, and plenty other very cool snake pictures of our whole entire collection. Really exciting videos to come, really exciting content to come. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope this was educational to some of you, and have a great rest of your day.